How did dogs become man's best friend?
How did dogs become man's best friend? In terms of where the first dogs were domesticated, well, there's plenty of debate, but genetic studies suggest areas such as Mongolia, Europe, Asia, and southern China. A recent study has suggested that dogs were domesticated in both Europe and Asia. If you go by stories and hearsay, such as the tale documented in the film Alpha, then one hunter befriends an injured wolf. Though unfortunately there's really not much evidence to back these claims up. Another guess is that humans started to capture wolf pups and began keeping them as pets. It might appear hard to accept, yet all canines, even the Chihuahua and Basset dog, are dropped from wolves. It's simply that people have had a major hand in changing their hereditary cosmetics and transforming them into massively various varieties throughout the long term. In spite of researchers not settling on when canines were first trained, gauges fall somewhere in the range of quite a while back. In any case, how did this happen precisely? How did fearsome, solid, wild hunters come to live with us, one next to the other? It's hard now to picture a Yorkshire Terrier being a descendant of the powerful dim wolf. However, a lot of scientists tend to agree on another theory, one which surprisingly involves wolves actually domesticating themselves in a way. When wolves began encountering humans instead of running away and keeping their distance, some started to test the water. And perhaps it ended up being survival of the fittest in that the wolves who were friendlier towards humans tended to be more likely to survive. So we ended up with larger numbers of wolves who were more likely to be friendly towards us. Being well disposed could have permitted them to get to food from tracker finders. They might have begun to have the option to get on human signs, and in time, people started to construct a relationship consequently. Without moving ourselves back millennia, it's difficult to pinpoint precisely the way that canines turned into our dearest friends. However, we can positively make a few ballpark estimations. When the bond was laid out, people began understanding that they could raise canines for explicit purposes like hunting, recovering, cultivating, crowding, and following. It appears to be someplace along the line we understood that canines can just be breathtaking organization and steadfast friends. Thus we reproduced canines to be close by as house pets as well. Where did the expression "a canine is a man's dearest companion" come from? It is guaranteed that whenever the expression "first man's dearest companion" was utilized was in 1789 by ruler Frederick of Prussia. The main, outright, and dearest companion that a man has, in this childish world, the one in particular that won't sell out or deny him, is his canine. He was discussing his Italian greyhound when he utilized this expression. It was likewise utilized in a sonnet by Ogden Nash named A Prologue to Canines. Here is the passage where it is referenced, right toward the start of the sonnet. The canine is man's closest companion. He has a tail toward one side. Up in front he has teeth. What's more, 4 legs under. From that point forward, the expression has been rehashed to such an extent that it has stuck to us and in our souls. Nowadays, at whatever point you consider canines, this expressing rings a bell, and it brings a sensation of incredible warmth, particularly to the individuals who own a canine. Why are dogs friends with humans? Well, these days, it's not difficult to see the reason why we get such a great amount out of our canine buddies. We give everything to them, including cover, warmth, food, and security. Present-day trained canines have come to consider this to be a characteristic approach to everyday life. Also, as referenced above, wild wolves might have at first become companions with people since they either acknowledged we were an extra food source, giving them scraps, or they sorted out it's smarter to be agreeable to us and make do than cause struggle and chance being killed. Once more, these are simply hypotheses, however they seem like sensible clarifications concerning why canines would be cordial towards us. Why dogs are so loyal? At the point when you ask any proprietor about for what good reason they love canines so much, it's almost certain they will specify the way that canines are so steadfast. They are generally there for us, and many will do without question anything for their proprietor, even attempt to save them or find support in a crisis. Their dependability exceeds all logical limitations. However, why are canines so steadfast? It's somewhat on the grounds that they've figured out how to be throughout the long term in their job as our colleagues. They have generally expected steadfastness as being an aspect of their responsibilities portrayal. But on the other hand, this is a result of the bond that people have worked with our pup companions over the long haul, whether they're a family show canine, a dog, or a crossbreed salvage canine that has had a harsh beginning. We love our canines genuinely. Furthermore, they begin to perceive this. It's additionally difficult to disregard that reality that canines will remunerate us with their dependability, assuming we give them encouraging feedback like food and walkies and a lot of adoration. Have you at any point saw how canines will normally be more faithful and respectful towards whichever relative feeds them? This is no fortuitous event. Another centered justification for why little guys and dogs are faithful is on the grounds that it's incorporated into them. Canines, similar to wolves, are pack creatures. Assuming that you take a gander at wolves in the wild, they're very faithful to their pack and will secure and uphold them regardless of the expense. This is a piece of what makes them such master endurance subject matter experts cooperating. All things considered, trained canines might have come to consider us to be their pack as it were, and they secure and uphold their pack individuals. Studies have additionally demonstrated the way that canines can feel feelings and experience close-to-home infection. The way that they develop to love their proprietors just further adds to their commitment and devotion. So now that we've covered a concise history of canines and how they possibly came to be next to us, we should dive into what makes them so astounding and why the present proprietors see their little guy as their absolute best bud on the planet. The following are 10 justifications for why canines truly are a man's, or alternately ladies' closest companion. Dogs are great company. First and foremost, dogs are great company. Even when you're feeling lonely and down, they're there, staring back at you with those puppy dog eyes. When you have a dog, you get used to having them around all the time for company, and your house feels so empty without them. Part of the reason why they're man's best friend is because they're quite simply good to have around. We have a commonly gainful relationship. Throughout the long term, people and canines have grown an exceptionally unique relationship that functions admirably for the two sides. Canines get love, sanctuary, food, and a protected spot to live. We get organization, friendship, devotion, and commitment. It's a mutually beneficial arrangement for the two players, and that is the reason we love each other to such an extent. There could be no other creature in the world that we have a remarkable same relationship with. It's obvious to see we both get such a great amount out of being in one another's lives. They are constantly eager to see us. It's in a real sense the best inclination when you get back home in the wake of a difficult day, and there's a major waggy tail there to welcome you. Each time we get back, canines show their adoration by hopping for satisfaction and being glad to such an extent that we've returned to see them. You can see you have an exceptional association when you disappear for a couple of days, and your canine is elated when you return. They will do anything for us. Canines will do mind-blowing things for their family or pack. They've been known to save their proprietors from a wide range of tight spots and seriously endangered themselves just to help or paw. Part of the explanation our bond with them is unshakable is on the grounds that we know that all things considered, they would successfully safeguard us. They show us things life. Obviously, canines have a vitality. They require every day as it comes and partake in every single second. Perhaps part of the justification for why we have such a cozy relationship with them is on the grounds that they move us to carry on with our best lives. They help us to live at the time and value time with our loved ones. They love us genuinely. Canines aren't so convoluted as people. When they love us, it will be until the end of time. Furthermore, they love us without judgment or strain. They are simply there, continuously, swaying their tail, showing us exactly the amount we mean to them. Also, for us people, to be cherished by a creature regardless of what we do, what botches we make, or how we act is so extraordinary. Your canine couldn't care less, assuming you lose your employment or accomplish something you lament. They simply continue cherishing you. They can help our well-being. As per a new overview distributed in the diary Nature, canine proprietors are bound to be better by and large as a result of their expanded degree of action. Having a little guy implies we need to take them out for normal walkies, and that benefits us as well as our pup mates. Other exploration likewise proposes that ladies rest better when they snuggle up close to their canines, as opposed to another human. So whenever you're experiencing a sleeping disorder, snuggle up with your dog, all things being equal. Canines are there regardless. While you're going through a difficult time, it can assist with having a canine around. People have an additional extraordinary bond with their dogs since they are there regardless of what you're going through. Some of the time when challenges gain out of influence, you don't need human contact. All you need is to twist up on the couch with your shaggy companion. Canines don't forsake us. They stay close by through various challenges. Research has likewise found that canines can assist with diminishing feelings of anxiety and lift efficiency at work. They safeguard us. While certain canines might have been utilized to assist with safeguarding domesticated animals, over the long run people have come to perceive their capacity to protect us as well. Many individuals have a canine for security as well as organization. Look at this rundown of the best gatekeeper canines to see which one could be ideal for you. They have mind-blowing abilities and ability. People have reproduced canines to do bunches of various positions. Various varieties have different ranges of abilities, from collies grouping sheep and Labradors directing the incognizant in regards to the present clinical identification canines. Who knew when we initially warmed up to wild canines that in the end they'd identify ailments like seizures and malignant growth? The scope of abilities canines have is very uncommon, but another motivation behind why we esteem them to such an extent.
You just watched the Pets series. If you followed us here, leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and watch our series every day where you are about the animal kingdom in the world. Good luck!
you.